Ladies and gentlemen and council, I'm going to call this meeting to order. We have an agenda before us. I'm just wondering if there's any additions to the agenda.
Good morning, Mr. Reeve. Yes, we do have a few additions from administration. Under Section 9, New Business, 9.2.2, Bridge File 73061, Replacement, 2025 Budget Adjustment. We're adding 9.4, Environmental and Protective Services, and 9.4.1, Drought Assessment. And then under Closed Session, 12.2, Advice from Officials, ADIA Section 29.
Okay, thank you. There was 9.4.1 and then 9.4.2. Was there or no, or just a 9.4.1?
Just the 9.4.1.
Oh, it's there. Thank you. I got that. Thanks. Thank you for that. Any other additions from council? Okay, seeing none, I'm looking for a motion to adopt the amended agenda. Thank you, Councillor Slipchuk, for making that motion. Any discussion on that? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Gentlemen, we have adoption of the minutes of the regular meeting of council, July 8th, 2025. Just looking for a motion. Thank you, Councillor Fadeev, for making this motion. Any discussion on this? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. I guess we'll go on to DA's 7.1.
I'm about 1.5 feet too short for that one. Good morning.
Morning.
Development application 2025-D-142, Wild Rose Disposal Inc., Desmond Hunter. The applicant is applying for a minor rural industrial use for a non-hazardous waste collection business. The property is located 3 miles east of the hamlet of Fort Kent and 1.5 miles west of the hamlet of Ardmore on the north side of Highway 28 and the Iron Horse Trail. Adjacent properties are residential lots and quarter-section remnants. Considerations that Mr. Hunter has purchased Wild Rose Disposal and is proposing to relocate the business from a 10-acre parcel where they utilize 3.75 acres to a new parcel which contains an existing shop and office, and the business footprint will be approximately the same. They operate Monday to Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Friday 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., and one truck operates for 3 hours on Saturdays. They have 8 employees, which consist of 4 drivers, 1 shop hand, 1 mechanic, a bookkeeper, and a manager. They have 5 front-end garbage trucks, 2 roll-off trucks, 2 tractor-trailer combos, and 1 company truck, 1 loader, and 1 track hoe. They have about 1,250 dumpsters, but 98% are at customer locations. The remainder stay on site to serve customers on demand. Only staff private vehicles, and company vehicles equipment come in from the site throughout the day. No customers attend this property. The waste is collected from customer locations throughout the day, brought to the site, unloaded into sealed metal bins, and then shipped to local landfills. An application for Alberta Transportation Roadside Development Permit has been obtained. Adjacent landowners were sent out on June 27th, and we have not received any concerns at the time of the generation of this report. The recommendation for development permit application 2025-D-142 is to approve the request for a minor rural industrial use for a non-hazardous waste collection business as a discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 58, Part 7, Section 69.2 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions. Number 1, as per Section 52 of the Land Use Bylaw, outdoor lighting shall be located so that rays of light are not directed at an adjacent site, do not adversely affect the adjacent site, and are not adversely affecting traffic safety. Number 2, they shall comply with the Consolidated Public Safety Bylaw, number 1812, shall comply with all provincial and federal regulations. The permit is valid for the current scope of the business. If expansion is intended, a new development permit shall be required. And this permit may be revoked if at any time, in the opinion of the Development Authority, the use is or has become non-compliant, detrimental, or is a nuisance to the character and the amenities of the neighborhood. Any questions?
Counselor Swigert.
Is that the location that used to be a sandblasting?
I wouldn't have that
business?
information for you, unfortunately. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think it is. Interesting. No one sent any letters in of complaint at all, because people were all complaining about the sandblasting business when it first showed up. Yeah, because there's people that live relatively close and they weren't so happy, but if no one's complained, I guess.
There were 2 letters of request for information that were received, but there was no complaints attached to them. Once the situation was explained to them by Christie, then they were satisfied
Okay.
with the.
And then how, they're moving from a 10-acre parcel where they said they were using 3.75 acres or whatever to, how big is the site they're moving to?
The new site that they would be moving to is approximately 56 acres.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Swigert, for making this motion that council approves development permit application number 2025-D-142 for a minor rural industrial use for a non-hazardous waste collection business on part of Northwest 3461 Fourth, west of the Fourth M as discretionary use pursuant to Part 6, Section 58, and Part 7, Section 69.2 of the Land Use Bylaw for the Wild Rose Disposal, Inc., with the following conditions before you, 1 through 5. Any discussion? I see Counselor Fadeev.
Yeah, good morning. So in your description, you're saying that they're gonna grab the materials from location and then bring it to this location, transfer it into other bins, and then haul it out. I'm not sure of that road. Is there some sort of like road use agreement that we're gonna enter with them? I'm just concerned about overweight products getting in there.
If council would like to add that as a condition, we certainly can.
I think I'd like to see that in there.
Okay.
You want to amend your motion, Councillor Swigert?
Yeah, sure. It's not, yeah, because it's not a major, right? It's a little range road.
I'm racking my brain trying to figure out what piece of road that is, but it's like is that Cowboy or the next one over?
The next one over.
Next one over?
So it's
Okay.
443.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know where it is now. Well, wouldn't we have some kind of a road use? Do we have a, throw a question out there?
Morning, Reeve Council. Yeah, we do
Morning.
have a road use agreement they would have to apply for if that's their route. So
They have to do it, we don't really have to put it in a motion, it's mandatory,
they
isn't
should
it?
apply for it though, yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna have that, because that's a cold mix road right there, so.
Yeah,
So they should apply for it, for a road use agreement? Okay, we'll still make that, yeah, but that's my only concern, because they don't weight a product when they get it from customer A, then when they take it there to transfer it, you don't know what's in there, what kind of weights are in there, so
Yeah.
it's all over the place. Okay, thanks.
As a recommendation, do you want that added as a condition?
Yeah, for that, if that's gonna be their major route there, so, yeah.
I think we should add that they should.
oh, 1 second, I don't have you on. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Reed, the point was they should apply for it. They won't apply for it unless somebody asks them to.
Well, we can put it in our conditions, so. Darcy, go ahead.
I'm just curious, like so they're currently set up north of Ardmore, is that right? And they travel on DMD roads already, they have a current agreement in place?
Where's their?
Can you bring the maps up, please?
I don't
Chair?
even know where they are.
I don't know.
Oh, are they?
Emerald-
Aren't they right here by the barn? Yeah, so they're right on the highway.
Oh, they're right off the highway?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's them, yeah, okay.
Is this-
So they wouldn't have a road unit,
This is
they come right off, by the, they're right beside the barn,
Okay.
on the east side of town here.
Nice art. Nobody's complained about it, but it's nice art.
Right off 60.
Yeah, it's fine. We kind of figured out where they are right now.
Right now, they're on Highway 659. And
East of Bonneville, just by the big red barn there. Okay, we can add that to our motion, or Counselor Swagger can add that to his motion?
Yeah, just to ensure that they apply for road use agreement.
Okay, we'll wait for that to come up and then we'll take a look at it.
Josh, people don't like staring at that every day?
No.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. Number 6. Everybody see that? Okay, good enough. Any other discussion on this motion? No. Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. Thanks. I guess we're gonna go to subdivision applications number 8.1.
subdivision application number 2025-S-012. Administration is presenting subdivision application 2025-S-012 for council consideration. The applicant is to consolidate Plan 1121798, Block 1, Lot 1, into Northeast 22, 63-4 west of the 4th Meridian. Furthermore, subdivide a 10-acre parcel from the northwest corner of Northeast 22, 63-4, subdivide 3.5-acre parcel from northeast corner of Northwest 22, 63-5, and consolidate new parcels to create a new 13.5-acre parcel as shown on the map. The subject site is located 1 mile north of Highway 55 along Township Road 634, 1 mile north and 1.5 miles west of the traffic circle. The notification of the proposed subdivision was sent to referral agencies and adjacent landowners with a deadline of June 25th to submit concerns to be considered at the July 22nd council meeting. No concerns were received. This subdivision application does meet the requirements of the Municipal Government Act Subdivision and Development Regulation, Lower Athabasca Regional Plan, and the regulations of the Municipal Development Plan and Land Use Bylaw. Administration's recommended action is that council approve subdivision application number 2025-S-012 to consolidate Plan 1121798, Block 1, Lot 1, into Northeast 22, 63-4 west of the 4th Meridian. Furthermore, subdivide a 10-acre parcel from northwest corner of Northeast 22, 63-4 west of the 4, subdivide a 1.3-acre parcel from northeast corner of Northwest 22, 63-4, and consolidate new parcels to create a 13.5-acre parcel for Thelma LaPointe on behalf of Thelma and John LaPointe, Kevin and Amanda Walters, as per the following conditions. Ag approach is required to Northwest 22, 63-4. Number 2, if the subdivision is registered through a plan of survey, that the owner-developer dedicate a 17-foot strip of land for road widening along the entire frontage of the north side of the remnants and proposed parcels to be registered by separate road plan. Additionally, the owner-developer would enter into a land acquisition agreement with the MD for a 17 foot strip of land for road widening along the entire frontage of the west side of the remnant parcel, Northwest 22-63-4, and entire frontage of the east side of remnant parcel, Northwest 22-63-4. Or, if the subdivision is to be registered by descriptive plan, the owner-developer enter into a land acquisition agreement for a 17-foot strip of land for road widening along the entire frontage of the north and west side of remnant parcel, Northwest 2-63-4, and east side of remnant parcel, Northeast 22-63-4, to be registered by caveat. Number 3, that the existing lot described as Plan 1121798, Block 1, Lot 1, to be consolidated to the remnant prior to registration of the proposed parcels. Number 4, real property report to be submitted. Number 5, sewage disposal shall comply with the Alberta Safety Codes Act and Part 2 of the Province of Alberta Public Health Act, and taxes to be paid. Now, if you'd like me to go to the map and explain it for you again, we can.
That would be really nice.
Is that all you had to say?
And that's all I
Okay.
have to say. So we'll go back to the map and we'll take a look, and then you'll be able to understand what exactly it is that we've got going on.
We have the deputy reeve
Scroll
here.
down a little,
We have the
please.
deputy reeve here has a question.
All right.
Well, she'll probably explain it.
So when we take a look at what we've got up here on the map right now, the outlined area in green is the northeast quarter right now. There is a 10-acre parcel that's already been taken out of it. They're proposing to take that 10-acre parcel and consolidate it back into the quarter section. That would allow them to be able to take out another 10-acre parcel from that quarter to meet all the requirements. However, currently, they have a house on the northeast quarter, and they have a shop on the northwest quarter. In order to take in all of their existing yard site, we would require the 3.5 acres out of the northwest quarter to be consolidated to the 10 acres that we're asking for out of the northeast to create that new 13.5 acre parcel. It would be over the quarter line, but it would have its own lot block and plan, and it would not affect anything on either the northwest corner or on the northeast quarter.
So it would be two separate properties then?
It would create, it would still, it is two separate properties now, and it would still be two separate properties because the 10 acres that's out is coming back to the quarter. So the owner of the 10 acres would now own the quarter section. The new 10-acre parcel would be for Thelma and John, but it would also incorporate the 3.5 acres that's on the parcel on the west side.
That's what I mean. So that 3.5 acres is another parcel?
No, the 3.5 acres and the 10 acres would be consolidated to create one 13.5
So can
acre
you
parcel.
do that? Like, do you do it in other places? Have you?
We've gone through land titles for the request to make sure, to confirm that we would be able to do this. And because we're creating a new lot block and plan, it will not affect the legal land description of the northwest nor the northeast quarters.
So who owns that one that's labeled 14 there? Like, are they cutting into their property on that side too then?
Yes. Yes, Thelma and John own both of the quarter parcels, and their daughter and her husband own the existing 10 acre. So John and Thelma would still own the remnant of that 80 acres on the west, and then it would go to Walters on the east side.
All right. So there's no issues with that down the road for resale and all that stuff? And
No, it would have its own lot block and plan, and it would be one parcel. It would be no different than any of the multi-lot subdivisions that we have, where we may have one parcel that's part of one quarter and part of another quarter. It creates its own identity when I send it to land titles for registration.
so you do have other examples of that, you're saying?
There are many other examples of
Okay.
that, yes.
Thank you, Councillor Slipchuk.
Yeah, so what happens to that boundary line? It just disappears then, between the two quarters?
No, the boundary line would remain. We're not consolidating the quarters. So the title would read for the northwest parcel, which is now 80 acres. It would now read that it is now going to be 76 acres, or whatever that would be. So the northwest title would still have its own identity, and it would have its own allotted amount of acres to it. So it would be no different than if we had party A purchase 3.5 acres on this side, and they purchased 10 acres on this side and decided to do a land consolidation of their own. It would still become one parcel, and it would still have its own identity.
Okay, so that boundary line stays there, so if
That
they come
boundary,
forward, they
the
still have
boundary
to.
line stays south of the new red square.
So they still have to follow rules like so far built
Yes.
from a boundary line. and all that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Counselor Swigert?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Reeve, to approve it.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Swigert, for making the motion. That council approves subdivision application number 2025S012 for consolidating plan of 1121798, Block 1, Lot 1 into Northeast 2263-4 west of the 4th M. Furthermore, subdivide a 10-acre parcel from northwest corner Northeast 2263-4 west of the 4th M. Subdivide 3.5-acre parcel from northeast corner northwest 2263-4 west of the 4th M, and consolidate a new parcel to create a 13.5-acre parcel for Thelma Lapointe on behalf of Thelma and Jean Lapointe and Kevin and Amanda Walters, as per the following conditions 1 through 2 before you. Any discussion on this motion? All right, I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. On to 8.2.
This one's a little easier, I hope. Subdivision application number 2025-S-010. Administration is presenting subdivision application 25S010 for council consideration. The applicant is proposing a 52-acre parcel as a natural fragmentation from agricultural quarter section southeast 2763-3 west the 4th. The subject site is located 1 mile north of Highway 55 along Township Road 634 and Range Road 432. Charity, can I get you to bring the maps up, please? Notification of the proposed subdivision was sent to referral agencies and adjacent landowners with a deadline of June 19th for submitting concerns to be considered at the July 22nd council meeting. Alberta Environment and Parks has recommended a 10-meter environmental reserve to be dedicated on either side of the unnamed water course. This application for a fragmentation of 52-acre parcel does comply with Municipal Government Act, Lower Athabasca Regional Plan, Municipalities Municipal Development Plan, and the Land Use Bylaw. This subdivision application does meet the requirements of the Municipal Government Act, subdivision and development. Well, I've read all of that already. Administration recommended action is that council approves subdivision application number 2025-S-010 for a natural fragmentation of a 52-acre parcel from agricultural quarter section southeast 2763-3 west the 4th Meridian for Angela Cook on behalf of Richard and Shirley Cook as per the following conditions. Pursuant to Section 655, the owner-developer install approaches onto the remnant parcel. The Municipal Government Act, pursuant to Section 661 of Municipal Government Act, the owner-developer dedicate a 17-foot strip of land for road widening along the entire frontage of the south side of proposed and remnant parcels to be registered by separate road plan. Number 3, as recommendation from Alberta Environment and Parks Land Division, that the owner-developer dedicate a 10-meter wide strip of land for an environmental reserve on both sides along the entire length of the unnamed water course. 4 is a real property report. 5, sewage disposal shall comply with the Alberta Safety Codes Act and Part 2 of the Province of Alberta Public Health Act, and taxes to be paid in full. And I will explain this one for you as well if you like. Right now, we've got a natural fragmentation because there is a water course that runs directly from the north boundary straight down to the south boundary. They are proposing to take off the west side of this as a natural fragmentation. So Parks has asked for that 10-meter dedication on both sides of that red line that's down there to be dedicated as an environmental reserve. Are there any questions?
No, just looking for a motion then, gentlemen. Councillor Crick, thank you for making this motion. The council approves subdivision application number 2025-S 2022-010 for a natural fragmentation of a 52-acre parcel from agricultural quarter section southeast 2763-3 west of 4th M for Angelina Cook on behalf of Richard and Shirley Cook as per the following conditions 1 through 6 before you. Any discussion on this, gentlemen? I'm not seeing any. I'm going to call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. We're going to 9.2.1. I don't know. Yeah, I probably got it. You just got to hit the button, I think. There we go. Oh, you're good now. You got to hit her again.
Okay, thank you.
That's who they made this little platform for, eh?
Perfect.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Reeve Kalinsky. Good morning, Council. I'm here to present 2 RFDs for bridge projects. These were budgeted bridge projects that have gone to tender, and we're going to need to have a little bit of assistance to award the projects. So the first one is Bridge File 8229 replacement, 2025 budget adjustment. The replacement of Bridge File 8229, which is Lessard Road over Jackfish Creek, was included in the approved 2024 and 2025 capital budgets. Based on the tender prices the MD received on July 3rd, 2025, additional budget will be required to proceed with an award of the project. The request for tenders posted on June 6th and closed on July 3rd. It was evaluated by our consultant. Existing budget, we have 2024 capital was 100,000 was allocated from the bridge engineering line item. In 2025 capital, we have 1.5 million from the Bridge File 8229 replacement line item. Required budget is 169,000 for engineering, $1,685,871 for construction, and then we're asking for a 10% contingency of $168,587. So we've included a location map for your review. So you can see that's on Lessard Road, just north of Lessard Bridge. And then we have our tender evaluation scores that came in. So these are ranked in order of score here. They've redacted the actual scores, but it was a pure price tender, so the lowest price compliant bid received was Lafarge Canada at $1,685,871. Reference to strategic plan, goal 1, building a viable and diversified regional economy, and goal 2, enhancing safety in the community. Reference to provincial federal legislation. When we do talk about these, we have an evaluation period and we have a common law requirement for a cone of silence during that evaluation period. Now we are complete our evaluation on this one. We have received a letter from from our consultant, so we should be okay there. So we're proposing total estimated cost is $2,023,458. Proposed funding is we have our $100,000 from the 2024 capital budget. We have our $1.5 million from the Bridge 2025 capital budget, and we're proposing $450,000 of new funding to be drawn from the Bridge Fund Reserve. Recommended action is that Council approves an unbudgeted expenditure in the amount of $450,000 for the Bridge File 8229 replacement project to be funded from the Bridge Fund Reserve. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Any questions, gentlemen? Or yes, go ahead, Deputy Reeve, then.
So you said 1.5, you have currently, you have 100,000 as well, but you need 1.685 and you need 10% of that plus another 69,000 for engineering?
Yes, it's typically when we budget the first year of a project, we don't budget, we have a consultant under a master services agreement, and we budget for the preliminary engineering to get
So
all
I'm
the.
just curious as to, for 450,000, so you just rounded a number up?
That just rounds the number up. We return any leftover funds back to the.
Yep, all right.
Thank you. Counselor Crick?
Yeah, I just wondered because that's quite a bit over what we had budgeted for it. And like, are we gonna see all of our bridges being like 25% higher in cost all of a sudden, or what's going on?
General, this year, we have been seeing higher prices. There's a contractor feedback on that is that they're having higher labor costs, the tighter labor supply, and that there are higher material costs out there. Of course, a lot of steel going into these bridges, and there's a little bit of uncertainty out there regarding that right now. We also, when we do budget them, bridges aren't typically designed yet, and so we are operating off of a preliminary estimate. So there is a certain amount of error in those estimates that we're budgeting based off of as well. It's when we budget in the first year, we budget off what's called a Class 4 estimate, which is a very preliminary estimate, where you're kind of just guessing a little bit based on previous projects and previous experience. When we do go into the following year, we're doing based off of a Class 3 estimate, which is something that once we've done our preliminary engineering work, some investigation and survey, but we don't have a design yet. So we'll tweak often the budget at that point, but we still are operating off a certain amount of error factor. Plus, we have seen some inflation this year in our costs.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Fadeev?
Yeah, thanks. That was kind of, excuse me, kind of my question in regards to the costs of the bridges. So right now, you know, excuse me, we kind of estimated roughly around $90 million in the next 10 years. So we're quite soft on that then. So we're looking to increase that by roughly 25 to 30% then?
It is, of course, material prices go up and they go down, and we are seeing a little bit of uncertainty right now. It's very hard to predict where things are going to be 5-10 years down the road. It's not unlikely that costs could go higher. I know that was our best estimate at the time, and we did allow, I think, 2% inflation per year on those costs. So there was some inflation allowed for, but not this much.
Yeah, usually when prices go up, they never seem to go down for some reason, but, okay, thanks.
Thank you. We're going to Counselor Swaggart.
Yeah, I'm just trying, I've used that, you know, a couple of times, but that's not on the Beaver River, it's on apparently Jackfish Creek.
Yes.
Is that, and so, like, is there a lot of water flow through Jackfish Creek right now? Is there always, or is it a culvert? Is it a bridge?
It's a bridge. It's actually a fairly big bridge. It's a 3-span bridge.
Oh,
It's one of our biggest
okay.
bridges in the MD. A lot of it's hidden because it's kind of in a ravine and it's hard to see the substructure. You just drive over it and nobody notices that it's there, but.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I highly doubt there's any water going through it right now. Very little, yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think so.
But when it does go, it goes. Yeah, Deputy Reeve, thank you. You're good.
Yeah.
Deputy Reeve Scarson.
Yeah, have you considered procuring your own steel and you know, several's worth you can lock in steel prices at certain amounts, and then contracting these out or tendering these out for just the labor piece?
We haven't considered that, no. It's something where we go, leaving everything in the hands of the contractors and just let the competitive market of the day handle things. Of course, there's a lot of steel H-piles that get driven into the ground underneath these structures, and there is some reliance on steel commodity prices. They're going to impact our prices, but I don't know whether it would be worth stockpiling or attempting to buy futures on that or not.
Yeah, I mean, if you got so many bridges to do in the future, I mean, there's got to be a better way, right? And, you know, honestly, these guys, whoever it is, are marking up this steel, again, another 10 or 15% on top of what they're paying for it, right? So.
Yeah, it's tendered, so the competition hopefully is keeping those costs reasonable, but.
Thank you, Counselor Slipchuk.
Yeah, my question is, okay, so we got a bid for one bridge. We know we have multiple bridges to do. Is there a possibility that we could maybe get a tender, get them to do all, like, 3 bridges and save quite an
We did
amount of money?
We did actually do that this year. We had 6 bridges
Okay.
replacements that were originally planned. There was an additional one on 623 that was added. There were a couple of bridges that were very similar to each other, so we did we bundled them together in a single tender, hoping that there would be some efficiencies there. The prices did come very tight on our budget, but because of the inflationary on the other, maybe we did get a discount on those. It is something I know I've asked our consultant to look at when we are tendering these things, is that we are looking at potentially bundling similar work. If it's different equipment, probably not a lot of savings, but if there is same equipment and it's just moving from one spot to another in the MD and they can kind of cycle different crews through the different sites, I could see potentially some savings there.
So are these the only 3 companies that do bridge work?
Pardon me?
Are these the only 3 companies that do bridge work that's on the tender sheet?
There are a couple of more that are very regulars. Of course, this is across Alberta. Even one of these companies, I believe, is from BC. That SureSpan, I believe, is from BC. There's not a lot in the industry. I do know most of them and have worked with most of them, so
Okay.
it's a small community.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Swigert?
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up Deputy Reeves Garson's comment again, because I think it really is worth looking at and discussing. You guys have done a good job of looking at all the bridges that we need to replace, and so, if you just looked a bit, maybe in a bit more detail and purchased the stuff that we need and do stockpile it, I think it would save us a bunch of money, but I'm just asking that you maybe do look at doing something like that. And I brought this up a couple months ago, but it was a rail line not too far south of here where it was a rail spur, and they had to replace, I don't know, it was three or 4 or 5 wooden trestles along that rail spur, and they contracted it out with those square concrete box sections, and it took them about 5-6 days to replace it, one of these wooden trestles with a concrete box section, because they couldn't keep the rail line shut down for forever. But I'm just thinking, let's think kind of a bit more about how we can maybe save on this stuff when we know, we schedule it, we know we got to replace them. As we bought gravel, 12 years ago or something, we stockpiled, and I just think we should maybe look a bit harder at saving money on building these things and consider those concrete.
It is a question that I could ask a few more questions on it of both our consultant and maybe of some of the contractors that are working for us, if there is any efficiencies or cost savings in that, because I guess up front, I would be a little bit concerned that we'd end up with a bunch of steel sitting in our yard unused, that of course it rusts, and that it's not like gravel where you can kind of use it 10, 20 years down the road. At some point there'll be design changes that maybe it's not the right section size, et cetera, and there could be different, we do operate off of Alberta Transportation standard cookie cutter designs, and those designs can change, and before you know it, the section that we're driving in the ground is different than the one that is in the standard design. So.
Okay, but you can check, because
But it's a good
have the
question.
designs changed over the last 100 years? We're still building bridges, and I think maybe we can stockpile some stuff, or maybe we can go to those concrete box structures, because they're made in Red Deer, or they're made relatively locally, so maybe that saves us money too. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Fadiv? No, yeah, Counselor Fadiv. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. It's a public use bridge. The engineers are the ones that are taking the liability end of it. So anyways, all good, great suggestions, but I'd like to make the motion for number 1 to approve the amount for $450 for the ask.
All right, thank you, Councillor Fadеев, for making this motion that council approves the unbudgeted expenditure for the amount of $450,000 for the bridge file 8229 replacement project to be funded from a bridge fund reserve. Any discussion on this? Any more discussion?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor.
So if we did the steel thing, wouldn't you think the contractor would say they wouldn't want to take any liability then? Because if you're supplying me material, I'm not going to take any of the liability at all, because you could be the weakest point.
It's possible you would be accepting the responsibility for the performance of those materials. I'm sure the contractor would love to have a little asterisk on their warranty for the bridge.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve Scarson.
Yeah, I would just, since Councillor Slipchuk brought it up, I mean, I know where I work, we do lots of bids. Without bidding material, the end user will supply the, you know, the valve, the steel, the pilings, all that stuff. So, I mean, it's not unheard of, for sure. We do bids either way, with supplying material and without, so it's not something new, that's for sure.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion on this motion, gentlemen? Okay, I'm not seeing any more. I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. I guess we have a 9.2.2, no?
Yep, yeah, it's very similar. So 9.2.2 is Bridge File 73061 replacement, 2025 budget adjustment. The replacement of Bridge File 73061, which is the Tucker Lake Bridge just southwest of Tucker Lake, was included in the approved 2024 and 2025 capital budgets. Based on the preliminary tender prices the MD received on July 9th, 2025, additional budget will be required to proceed with an award of the project. The request for tenders was posted on June 11th and it closed on July 9th, 2025. Just of note, our consultant is still evaluating these tenders. We wanted to catch you before you go on your summer break here. So we are limited a little bit on discussion about the evaluation. But we do have $75,000 of existing budget that was allocated in 2024. We have $1,025,000 that was included in the 2025 capital budget. Our required budget is $139,000. Construction of $1,450,000 estimated, and 10% contingency of $145,000 estimated. Now, this is based on our tender opening, our preliminary results when we had our tender opening and what those numbers are. We don't have a letter from our consultant identifying which one is the correct number yet, but there were a couple that were kind of close. So we've included a location map. Okay, and then preliminary prices, can you bring up?
Yeah.
So these were the preliminary pricing that was received, and again, these haven't been evaluated yet. These are when we open the envelopes and we read out the numbers. These are the numbers that read out. Sometimes there's calculation errors in the pricing schedules, and sometimes they do come in and there is mistakes that are significant enough that we have to declare the bid non-compliant, and we can't consider it at that point. So we are estimating that we have a couple of prices that are very close to each other on this that we will be able to hopefully award to a lowest bidder on this occasion.
Thank you. You have a question, Deputy Reeve?
I got a couple. So, what's the end of that road?
The end of that road, it kind of...
I guess not the end of the road. What's on the other side of that bridge?
Okay, so on the other side of that bridge is kind of some open camping areas. There are a few cabins and seasonal properties up there. There is, I did phone around, there is one person who is living up there full-time year-round right now in his father owns the land and he's living on an encampment on that property. We have some industry and some logging in the area, is my understanding. It's not, part of the challenges, of course, of this one is this is a dead-end road and there's no other access other than this bridge.
All right, and then, do you, like, is there any value in, tendering these out as a package? Like, I mean, if one company was there and didn't have to mow from wherever they come from, because they're already doing a bridge that was just down the road, you know, that might end up saving you a lot of money as well.
There is potentially some value. This one was tendered by itself, but like I said, there was a couple other that we did bundle together based on similar work and similar equipment requirements. This one is a little bit of a challenge in that we're going to need a detour bridge or a temporary bridge access during construction, because we do have people living up there that need to get out. There is some industry roads north of there, but they're very rough. And we did take a drive over them. There's about a 3-mile section where we just felt we couldn't keep access there. And if it got some heavy rains or some bad weather, that we would end up isolating and stranding those residents. So
is that bridge in such bad shape that it's just not going to last, or is it just an age thing that it needs to be replaced?
it's an age thing. It's kind of our larger thing. It's probably the deck on it is shot. It's a very poor condition, the deck. It's the girders, it's a timber girder bridge. It's about 60 years old, that bridge. The girders are sort of okay. The substructure is a bit of a question mark. There's a lot of rot and decay developing in the substructure of a bridge that age, and it is a question mark on whether we're going to be able to rely and have confidence in that going forward. It's a multi-span bridge, so it's one where it's definitely time to look at replacing it. If we did decide to replace it next year as opposed to this year, I'm probably not going to be that concerned. We'd go do some deck repairs, but if we're putting it off any significant length, I think we'd have to have a talk about it.
Okay. Good, first? Good. Counselor Fadeev, and then
Yeah.
Counselor Slipchick.
Yeah, similar line questioning to Deputy Scarson, but so have we talked to the energy companies and see what their, I guess, future expansions might be? Is this part of their, their overall evaluation that in the next 5-10 years, we're going to be having X amount of wells there? Has that conversation been had?
We haven't had, not with this particular structure. I mean, there have been other structures where I've called the energy companies just to kind of get some feedback there. On this one, the only feedback, I know at one point we had talked to them. They have some infrastructure north of this, but they end up daylighting east out to the highway there from where they're located. So they haven't been using this bridge. They probably wouldn't surprise me if the road eventually did get upgraded through there and had a bridge that's capable of carrying modern truckloads, that they may, but we haven't had that discussion yet, no.
Yeah, because if we have logging and if we have energy and all that stuff, that would just make the decision a little easier to do. Okay, thank you.
Counselor Slipchick.
Can we change some of these standing bridges to culvert systems, and would it reduce our cost and all that? How do we look at that?
It potentially could, and this was, I know when we went into this project, that was kind of my idea is, well, can we switch this one over to a bridge to a couple of culverts in there and maybe see if we can save our money. My direction to our consultant on this one is I wanted it as cheap as absolutely possible because we don't have a lot of traffic in the area right now. One of the big challenges at the site is there's a weir supporting Tucker Lake right beside the bridge. And it is something where in order to put culverts, it would conflict with the weir and we'd end up having to tackle 2 projects at once. And I did talk to our consultant and they felt that that would be a much higher cost and higher risk. I did even get a second opinion from another engineer that we know and is well qualified in bridges, and their recommendation was leave the weir alone if at all possible. And we're taking a 2-span timber bridge and just replacing it with a 1-span concrete and steel bridge. a very simple structure. It should be fairly resilient if that we ever did have a washout on that weir. It should be fairly resilient in the waters afterwards, where I know a culvert I would have some concerns about.
So, but we are looking at culvert options on other projects.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
Thank you.
We always want to take the best fit, and
Deputy Reeve?
Are you able to do culvert bridges on your own then, or do you need to contract that out as well?
there are municipalities that do bridge-sized culverts on their own. It's not out of the line of question that our guys are smart guys, and they're quite capable, I would say, of doing a bridge culvert structure, especially some of the smaller ones. It's capacity. I mean, they have their own work to do right now, and I don't know that they would, but it is something that potentially could be done in the future on these culvert structures. Of course, this isn't a culvert structure, this is bridge structure, but.
So would you agree that the first time, like whenever you first have a bridge that you're looking at to replace, do you first say, can we switch this to a culvert?
Yep, it's the discussion that we have. I know I'll sometimes have it when, as our engineers getting into the design process, and they will compare different options during the preliminary engineering stage they do a calculation based on how much flow rate they're expecting, based on the land area that's draining through that structure, and they will look at all factors. I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to both a bridge and a culvert. Cost is a little bit of the advantage of the culvert. They don't last as long, and they are not quite as reliable in my experience. They're more susceptible to issues, but we certainly are looking at them.
Yeah, I can't see spending money here whatsoever myself. Logging, I logged up there, Ben. You don't need that bridge to get out of there. You can go to the west to get out of there quite easily. There is one gentleman that lives up there. I know where he is. The problem with hauling anything out of there, there's a wicked hill just before that bridge, about a half a mile. It's like straight down. That's why nobody hauls through there, because you can't. You'd have it's like just a wickedest hill that you can imagine on a 90-degree turn. And if oil companies are going to go east or west, Husky's just over that Tucker Lake or whatever plant is right there. They're going to go out to the Esso Road, and anybody else would go out to, they'd end up on our LaCorey North Range Resource Road. So there's no way. I just can't see spending that kind of money there unless the bridge is going down the river or something, because there's no traffic. I guess there's some campers during the summer, but I don't know. I can't see spending that kind of money. There's got to be other bridges that in the MD that, house a lot more traffic than there. It's just a season there. There's bridges that people run on every day in our MD, and I'd rather spend that kind of money on one of those than that one, but I don't know. I have a few more comments here. Councillor Swaggart, then Councillor Fadeev.
Well, Mr. Rio, I'm glad you said that, because I look at this and I have no pictures of any of this stuff, and you're talking about weirs. I know of the weir at Crane Lake, and I don't know if you know of the weir at Crane, but you talk about weir and everybody thinks of some fantastic, device to help fish and level lakes and stuff. It's nothing, right? It was a 1-inch piece of plywood that was stuck in by the government like about 50 years ago. It got broke off. It's still there. They call it a weir, but it's nothing, right? So, I'd really like to see pictures of stuff. I agree with the Reeve. I don't, this guy who lives there, is he living there full time in a, in a big house, or what's the deal?
No, he's just kind of off-grid kind of fella.
He's an off-grid guy that.
So the weir
bridge
is,
there, I probably wouldn't bother him.
the weir, I've cleaned that weir out myself for Mr. Ches. I go, Mr. Ches, I'll go take a power saw, I'll clean the weir. I'm pretty sure, Matt, it's just a rock. It's just a rock weir. There's rocks certain height, right?
It's a pile of rocks.
Yeah, so I've promised Mr. Ches a couple times in my life that I'd go clean that out, like take the trees out, and I'd go with a power saw and clean that out for him.
And I
But
agree.
it's all rock.
To have some engineers tell you that, oh, well, no, you don't want to change this bridge because you're going to disrupt the rear, I'm thinking that's kind of a BS story, because like the Reeve can go with a chainsaw and pull some rocks and there you've solved it. So you know, I agree with the Reeve. I think, you know, you were gonna shut down, well, I'm not saying you were, but there was other bridges, like in my area that they were gonna shut down, and there was lots of people that were using it all the time. Like it's a major, you know, farming kind of access, the one by Sabai's place there, and I look at this and think, are you kidding me? Like, you know, we'd be better off to give this guy $100,000 for his property, and he'd probably love it and get out of there, and we don't have to worry about, there's nothing there. It's like, I don't get it.
Counselor, is that Counselor Fadeev? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Question is, like, would there be access if we took the bridge out for the commuters, the campers and things like that?
No.
No? So that'd
No,
be-
you, on a year like this, you could get in there from the other
Right.
way. But on a normal year, there's like 2 water courses that go to the, you know, you'd have to create other little bridges to get in there kind of thing. But in the wintertime, sure, you can get in there all the time, but no. For campers, you need that bridge. 50% of them camp on before their bridge, and probably, that's probably about 35% camp before their bridge, and the rest camp all the way up the edge there, yeah.
Sounds good, thanks.
I do have an email with a picture of the structure. If you guys would like to see it, we could,
Yeah, you can bring it up. We'll continue with Counselor Slipchuk right now, and then Counselor Fadeev again.
So that bridge is safe, or you're saying it needs work, it's a safety issue, so we're responsible to make sure we maintain safety for our residents, the public. Okay, and what would the cost be just to repair it, and how many years would we get out of it?
to repair the deck, we could do some very Band-Aid repairs. It's almost negligible cost. It's something our crew could do. To go after the substructure would be it's just not worth going after the substructure with going after the bridge, I would say. It's something where, yeah, I don't want to throw a cost at that because I don't think it's really a value or feasible. You're going to be spending half to 2/3 of the cost of a new bridge to gain 5 years of girder life because it's timber girders.
Okay.
Plus you're mixing codes, you'd be mixing, yeah.
And do you know what kind of usage is on that bridge right now? Like in the summer, I know there's lots of people that go up there.
I took a traffic count at one point on that road, and I think we're talking about 15 vehicles a day at the time. Of course, it will fluctuate. Of course, it's very small. I'm sure a long weekend sees a lot more traffic than and you do have, of course, people who do have recreational properties up there. And so it's something where if we were getting to a point where we were looking at closing the bridge, we'd have to figure out an agreement with anybody who had an interest up there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Councillor Fadeev?
yeah, thanks. I think we definitely need a road count, and we need to do like a workshop conversation on this one so we can discuss it a little further. But right now, it's,
We gotta have more options than what we
Yeah.
got, because
Yeah.
that's a
So-
lot of money to spend on a bridge that hardly nobody uses, so.
yeah, so if they come back with all the proper information, and we kind of go from there.
Okay. Council, whoever else wants to.
Yeah, no, it was kind of the same kind of comments, and man, I was just joking with Deputy Reeve here, but, you know, if you're gonna put that much money into this, then you put a toll on that bridge, and all these great campers who wanna use it can pay a toll, but, like, it goes nowhere. I would rather see us sort of do more of a study and figure out road, or weights and stuff, and, because I know the bridge in my ward here, you've got a 3-ton sign on it. You've cut the weight down to, I know you're busy there, Todd, but you're not really paying attention, so.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So you've put a 3-ton limit on that road, so, you know, find out what vehicles are using this, a truck and a camper, and say, well, if we want to do anything, we can fix the deck and keep it going for another 25 years and limit the weights or whatever, but it goes nowhere. I'm surprised that it even kind of made our major list here. That I don't remember talking about this one before, but.
I don't either, no.
It's It's one of these ones when we did do our road closure evaluation, because it's an only access, we've separated all the only access structures out. From a cost benefit perspective, you're right, the cost benefit isn't great on the structure, but you're talking about people's access to their properties, and that was probably the real difference. There is no real alternate access to these properties, so.
Okay. Councillor Crick.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion for option 2, that we bring it back to a future meeting in council to have additional information brought back. Maybe a list of the properties that are down the road and just some of the other stuff that was discussed here today.
Thank you. I'll wait for that motion to come up.
Anyway, Walter thanks you. Walter Chess.
Okay, we have some pictures for you. So that's the bridge.
Looks like Barry didn't do a very good job there.
That couldn't be a culvert.
That's the weir. So essentially it's a big pile of rocks supporting the lake. And that's what our bridge deck currently looks like. Actually, that's the 2023 photo, so it's actually worse than that.
Yeah, so where those trees are, Walter was, Mr. Ches was always concerned that the fish couldn't come back through the trees, so he'd get me to cut them out, so I went and I'd go cut them out, so. That's from 2023?
2023.
Oh, yeah.
Want to flip through those again?
Okay, thank you for those pictures. Councillor Slipchuk, you want to say something before we go to the vote?
Yeah, so we seeing bring back for with more information. If we can also put in there, look at putting in a culvert system. Just like discuss it with other ones.
We have had that discussion, and the answer is very challenging and difficult. I know one of the issues with that weir itself is I know DFO has been asking some questions about fish passage, and of course a culvert with gated culvert, you'd have to figure out some sort of method to get that through in order to get it approved. It's also one where there is a certain amount of risk when you touch one of those weirs. I know the second opinion we got was they did say that they were involved currently in a lawsuit surrounding one of these things where they were being accused of adjusting a lake level. And that was partially where their recommendation was coming from, of just avoid touching those things if you can. It's something where I have had a couple of conversations with our consultant about the culvert, and that's essentially the issue with the culvert is we can't touch the weir. I know we could potentially look at moving the roadway to the south a little bit, but of course it's a very marshy, swampy area there. It's a wetlands, and so there'd be environmental requirements surrounding that, and whether we'd saved anything on cost or not is really debatable.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, to the south, it gets wide in a hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Councillor Crick, for making this motion. That council refers to bridge file 73061 replacement project 2025 budget amendment request back to administration for additional information regarding the property impacts of the bridge and potential options for alternate routes to a future meeting of council. Any discussion on this? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Yeah, 5 minute, 10 minute.
Good morning, Raven Council. As per the MD of Bonnyville Municipal Scholarship Program Policy Number 3C.021, all applications submitted by June 30th deadline will be reviewed by administration and then provide council with an award recommendation for their consideration and approval. The process was transparent with no bias towards any scholarship applicant. Administration is bringing this item today for council's deliberation and discussion. Copies of all submitted applications were provided to council for their review prior to today, along with the scoring sheet. 22 applications were received by the deadline. 2 medical doctors, 1 veterinary medicine program, and 19 RN and NP programs. Attached is a copy, Appendix A of the Municipal Scholarship Program, and Appendix B, the 2025 scoring results. The policy will be reviewed by administration as the province has an established program that is extremely similar in nature and can dovetail to allow matching funds to help get 50-cent dollars on a portion of the program. So administration will be reviewing that for next year. We did have the discussions with the province about it, and then we'll bring those recommendations forward to council. With regards to the cost and source of funding, this is a 25 operating budget program that was identified, 14,000 for medical doctor, 10,500 for the veterinary medicine program, and 7,000 for the RN NP program. With regards to communication, each applicant will receive an email detailing the scholarship award results through the community services team, as well as being advised and communicated on social media pages and through the website. With regards to those communication letters, as we went through this process and talking with the province, we have seen sort of some other funding. So I would put something in there as well, that if you were unsuccessful, please try this stream as well. You know, just to try to encourage those medical professionals in the community. Administration's recommendation is that council award the distribution as per the recommendations, the following categories to be funded from the 25 Municipal Scholarship Program operating budget. For the medical doctor program, $14,000. Excuse my pronunciation on the name. Yeah, there will be no names as per FOIP. So as you can see through there, the $3 amounts and the individuals associated to that. As you can see, there are the council options provided in front of you. If there's any deliberation to be had regarding other applicants. We also do have someone from our internal scholarship task force here, if there's any specific questions. I did also review them, and for any of the ones that there was sort of that 1-2 point margin, there was a review with regards to the category that the differences occurred for the point values. So in broad terms, I can speak on those as well.
Councillor Swaggart.
Yeah, I just wanted to just kind of bring up a point for, I guess, future discussion, but I did have a local dentist actually approached me and just said, hey, is there a possibility of that? He loves the program, but he thinks if we could add dentistry to that, it would really help the area too, because there is a shortage of dentists and hygienists and that sort of thing also, but maybe we can consider, you know, dentistry, you know, because it is a medical profession, but it's dentistry, so. If that's something that council would be willing to do, we can consider that for future. What was my other comment? Oh, my other comment was, and I'd send it out to council in an email, just the comment about financial needs. And for me, I kind of struggled a bit with, I mean, just like all these people kind of met the criteria and they, you know, any one of them would have been great, I think. I just kind of started looking maybe at the financial need and not, the ones that you guys picked wasn't necessarily the one I picked because of the financial need, and I thought some of them you know, they've got funding that whatever, that they sort of didn't need this, and it's great that we can give it to them, but anyway, just a comment.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve Scarson.
Yeah, I just want to make a motion that we go into closed session to discuss.
All right, thank you, Councillor Scarson, for making this motion. The council goes into closed session at 10:32 for the following reasons: A, TIA, sections 20 and sections 22. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. This is carried. Thank you. All right, welcome back. Just looking for a motion, gentlemen.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Reeve Scarson, for making this motion that council approves the award of municipal scholarship under policy number C-C.021 municipal scholarship programs funded from the 2025 operation budget as followed. And we can read these off correctly. Yeah. Medical doctor program, 14,000 to Raylene Gallant. Did I pronounce that correctly? Doctor veterinarian medicine program, 10,500 to Sage McCaffrey. And registered nurse or nurse practitioner program, 7,000 to Andy Grambois. And furthermore, the council approves additional grant for the registered nurse or nurse practitioner program in an amount of 7,000 to Ava Hughes to be funded from the cash flow reserves. Any discussion on this motion, gentlemen? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Great job. Lost my piece of paper, but we're on 9 point. No, we're going to, I found my piece of paper. There we go. 9.41, right?
Correct.
There you are. Sorry, I lost my paper here.
Good morning, council, and what I'm here to talk about today is kind of the state of our weather that we've been going through for this past month. Obviously, everybody knows that we haven't had any rainfall, significant rainfall within the MD of Bonnie for quite some time. So it was asked of us from our Ag Service Board or a few members last Friday for us to kind of do an assessment throughout the municipality. So for the past few days, I've been going out doing an assessment around the municipality to see what kind of the crops look like, what our hayland is looking like to our pastures. Parts of the municipality are worse than others. I think our northern portion is the worst of the MD. It's getting to a level in the north that farmers are having to subsidize their pastures with some hay and moving cattle because of the lack of moisture in the dugouts and that. So talking to a few farmers, they're contemplating on selling some animals because of the lack of pastures and the concerns going into winter with the feeds. Probably hay right now is about 50% of what it was previous years. So so the talk is, do we qualify, or does it, the moisture conditions that we have throughout the MD, is it the state where we are in kind of a disaster state? So the guide that we go by is put out by the RMA. It's called the Guideline for Declaring Municipal Agricultural Disasters in Alberta. The criteria right now that we sit at, we probably don't qualify or meet that state. Probably in a week or 2 weeks' time, if we don't get any significant moisture, we will for sure. The challenges right now is the cereal crops are filling out. Half the heads are filling in with the dough. The top part of the cereals are probably won't mature and probably won't become anything. So your cereals are probably looking at 50% at best. Some of the canola crops are probably a lot worse than that. I think I walked through a few fields yesterday that I don't even think you'd get 10 bushels an acre. So yeah, you're looking at 75, 80% probably failure in some of the canola crops. Some canola crops look decent though. But if we don't get any moisture, they'll be in the same state as some of those other failure fields out there. So are the pastures going to come back? No. I think we're at that state right now that the pastures are in pretty poor state, and I don't think our growing season is reducing by the day. So it's for discussion for council to talk about. Are we at that state right now? Maybe not, but if things don't change rapidly, we will be in a short time period. So.
Well, the problem with this is our next meeting is umpteen days
Yes.
from here, so.
Yes, that's right. We're a month away from our next meeting. So if we were to declare, it would have to be an emergent meeting, and I'm not sure of council schedules or in the upcoming weeks. One of the things to realize that if we do declare a state of disaster, it doesn't right now unlock any additional funds for our agricultural producers. What it's going to do is just raise awareness to the province, to the federal government, that we are in a state. So it doesn't unlock any additional funds.
Yeah, go ahead, hit your button there. Counselor Swigert.
Yeah, so you just commented though and said that if we don't get any rain, it's tough to judge, but if you got no rain within 2 weeks, for sure, we'd be declaring.
Yes.
So, but knowing that, I mean, would you declare now based on the future weather? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wait a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and there's no rain, then you call us all back or whatever, but you'll know that. Like, if there's no rain, you almost declare now based on the prediction of no weather, no rain within 2 weeks or whatever. I'm not sure.
Well, I'd figure about half of the farmers right at this moment in the MD would declare right now. And the other ones are like, man, if I get a rain in a week, my canola will still come in. But there's, you just drive around, there's some canola fields that are already all seed. Like, there's not a flower left. It's like, what can be in there? There can't be much. So I think we should declare, but maybe I'm in a, LaCoria is just horrific. It's terrible. Like our cows, I know there's two neighbors right close by. They got to feed already. Like, and I'm at the point, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I can run my cows through again, but we're going to start subsidizing our cattle as well. And then I heard guys are they're going to open their gates because they have no more pasture and let into cropland. So that's pretty big disaster already, I think, in that. But it's not throughout the whole MD. I drove around. There's a few pockets that are, they're holding their own. But on the majority, it's not too good. Yes, go ahead.
Well, what's the risk in declaring too early?
There is no risk to declare too early. So right now we have 4 other municipalities that have declared as of today. So we have Cypress County, which is Medicine Hat, Pincher Creek, and then we have Greenview, which is around that Valley View area, and then the county of Grand Prairie. So There is talk that the county of Lac La Biche is kind of similar state than us. But the other municipalities within the northeast region, they're holding their own. They've had some rain in the past week that they're okay for now, but they might be in our same shoes here in a couple weeks.
There's
So,
probably more risk to declaring late than early.
yeah. It shows support to our agriculture producers. And it brings awareness to the province and to the federal government that there's issues out in the rural areas that need to be looked at.
Yeah, I know like you said, the northern area is probably the worst, and I talked to Mr. Ackerman from St. Paul County. They'll be discussing this today. St. Paul County is probably better shape than we are, and they're thinking about it, discussing it, which way to go. So we're far, we're worse off shape than St. Paul County right at the moment. But if nobody gets rain forever, well, then we might be all in the same pickle at the end, but yeah, I think we should. It's not gonna hurt us, and I think we have enough proof out there that shows that we are. I know in my area, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, like our area is so vast
Yeah,
that, you'll have farmers that half their crops are okay,
Yes.
not good. And then the other side of their properties, it's bad, right? So I don't think there's any issues with declaring it.
yeah,
And, we gotta, take care of 50% of our ratepayers that are having issues, and it's gonna be difficult, so,
it's affecting everybody, even
I'm
like
100% behind it.
Okay, what do we do to bring
Yeah, I believe we do have a motion
made up? Okay,
made up for council.
I can make that motion. to
yeah,
do that.
okay, thank you, Councillor Fidea, for making this motion that council declares municipal agriculture disaster in the municipal district of Bonneville number 87, and furthermore, that council directs administration provide information that stated in the Rural Municipals of Alberta Guide for declaring a municipal agriculture disaster to the following: Alberta Ministry of Agriculture and glasses irrigation, Agriculture Financial Assistance Corporate, AFSC, and Rural Municipals of Alberta, RMA. Any discussion on this motion, gentlemen? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. Looks like I might need glasses for far reading and close reading. That's carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Matt. Number 10, correspondence.
Mr. Reeve and Council, before you have a package of correspondence and information. At this time, administration would just like to highlight the letter from the newly appointed commanding officer for the Alberta RCMP, introducing themselves.
Thank you. Any comments or questions on correspondence and information? Or does someone like to make a motion? Yes, Councillor Crick. Thank you for making this motion. The council accepts the following correspondence and information, 1 through 10 before you. Any discussion on this? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. Looking for reports from council members. Councillor Crick,
Yeah, I had an egg service board meeting on July 9th, and thank you to the council for supporting the farmers with the last motion there. Also attended the RMA District 5 golf tournament in Wainwright this year. So that's it for me.
thank you. Councillor Slipchick,
Yeah, all I have reports, attended RMA Golf Tournament, it was a good event. We had Kevin and Ryan with us, our CEO was there. Had a good time, and Councillor Crick, as normal, found a lot of golf balls. Anyway, that's all I got to report.
Who's next? Counselor Fideiv.
Yeah, pretty quiet. July 14th, we had a C2 meeting, just an overview on a couple things, and yeah, just a kind of a run up and a rundown to the season, and yeah, that's about, of course, the agreement needs some updating, and we kind of tossed that around, so pretty quiet.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve.
Well, we had a BRFA meeting and it was business as usual. One thing to note there was that they reported that they had a full complement of EMS drivers, which is the first time, I think, ever, they said. So they're pretty happy about that. They say that it has a lot to do with the new building and the accommodations and stuff that are, the words are getting out, I guess, that this is a place to come work. So that's good to hear. And, yeah, otherwise, buildings,
Mentioned the packs that we got.
yeah, the new life packs and, basically the suitcases that they carry in on, the EMS drivers carry in on, responses, and they've got 6 of them, was it? 5 of them?
5 of them.
And,
Maybe 6 one stays, but Hessen's truck there, yeah.
yeah, and, so regardless, these things are like, they're the lifesavers for sure, and, so they're up to, there is the newest technology, and so we're suited up pretty well for emergency response now, and, they're pretty happy with everything that's going on with the building. It seems to be chugging along pretty nicely there, and so, so that's all good. And then, had a Winter Games meeting as well, and, we're gonna talk about some stuff about that later on, but as far as the operations going, it's going pretty smoothly so far. Everything's kind of coming together. Yeah, they're only really, 6 or 7 months away from kind of the bulk of that, so it's coming up quick, but everything's coming along nicely, so.
Thank you, councillors.
Nothing to report.
This will be the first time ever. No, good job, everyone. Everyone mentioned whatever, like, I guess the BFRA was, but Darcy covered that quite well. I got a phone call from Karina. What's her last, Dixon? Dixon. She's made quite a commitment, and I decided to take her out for supper one night. We went to Cold Lake to Mamacita's because I thought it was one of the, the greatest stories I heard this year kind of thing. When she came here to us as a reporter, she's by far one of the greatest reporters we've ever had here. She really cares about the people, and she does her job so well. And she's giving that all up. One of her best friends was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's fighting it right now, and she had to get an operation, the worst possible thing that happens with breast cancer. So she's laid down her job to go help this lady fight breast cancer, and I just thought that was just a great commitment from a friend, and I'm overwhelmed with that. It's a pretty amazing thing that she's doing. So exactly what I thought of her is exactly what she is. I just thought she's such a first-class lady, and now she proves it. So she's gone for now. She might come back. She loves the area. She lives just in RM, just in Saskatchewan there, but just outside the border here. But she's planning to come back eventually and get a job here back. But right now she put her whole life on hold for her friend. So there's not a greater thing that I can think of at the moment. So anyway, yeah. Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for those reports. I appreciate it. We have to go back into closed session, so I need a motion to go back into closed session. Thank you, Councillor Slipchuk, for making this motion. Any discussion? I am seeing none. I'll call for the vote. I think it came up on the screen. That's carried. Thank you. We're in closed session. Yep. Welcome back. everyone. We have a motion to be made here. I don't think it's up on the screen yet, but we're waiting for it. All right. Who would like to make this motion? Thank you, Councillor Crick, for making this motion. The council approves the donation of lift tickets of a value of $8,700 for the 2026 Alberta Winter Games Freestyle and Alpine ski events at Canuso Ridge Resorts to be funded from the cash flow reserves. Any discussion on this motion, gentlemen? I'm not seeing it, so we're gonna call all those in favor? Carried. Carried. Thank you. Anybody we're done, right? We just need someone to close the meeting off. Councillor Slipchuk, thank you. Great job, everyone.